Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 Map Guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at 4 fields. But before that, this video is brought to you by Professor of Logic and Gamer Old Man. Thank you for being farm barons. So the 4 fields map can be found with the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. This map is also 235.88 megabytes in size, and as you can see the category here, this is intended to be a North American style map. Let me read you some of the description. 4 fields, 4 farms. Have you always wanted to farm on a really big field? This map might just be right for you. There are 4 huge fields and 4 farms here. Great way to play with 4 people if you like playing with friends, but absolutely can also be played alone. But are you up to the challenge of harvesting and recultivating such a gigantic field? Around the 4 fields, you'll find the usual infrastructure that you know from maps. There are selling stations, productions, a village, meadows, and forests. There's also a campsite where you can earn some idle income. This map includes, as you might expect, 4 fields, 4 farms, 31 farmlands, selling stations, productions. Farm productions have been increased for productivity, passive income on a campsite, forests, large gardens, and collectibles. And I think with that, let's go ahead and kind of go back over here to the map and take a look at the PDA. Now you can see that we start out by owning Farmland ID 5. That is our main starting farm. If you select to not own the farm when you load up the map for the first time, you will obviously not own Farmland ID 5, but the buildings will be there as well as the vehicles. You can buy this if you do select to not own the farm for $104,400. In addition to Farmland ID 5, which also has a cow pasture, you're going to also own Field 1. Farmland ID 1 is 74.44 hectares in size and is the largest field on this map, $446,628 to buy. As far as the other 4 fields on this map, well, we have Field 2, which is going to be 70.22 hectares, Field 4, which is going to also be 70.22, and Field 3, which is 73.86. Now, in addition to these 4 fields, there are 4 farms on this map, and we're going to be taking a closer look at each farm individually a little bit later. As I mentioned, we start up with Farmland ID 5, which is a cow farm. We have a second cow farm over here, Farmland ID 7, for $94,060. To the north, we have Farmland ID 8, which is a sheep farm, for $109,440. And at Farmland ID 6, we have a pig farm, which is $101,414. Now, I must say, I'm a little surprised that we only have 1 pig farm, and that we do not own that pig farm at the start, because a lot of the farm productions and farm supply productions are going to output pig food as a secondary output. And as such, well, I think it would be pretty cool to basically own a large amount of pigs, because whatever you're going to be making is likely going to be outputting pig food as a byproduct. So I think you're going to have some pretty cheap ways of feeding your pigs. This map does include all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25. And if we take a look at our crop counter, you do see that we pretty much have the base game crop counter available to us. Looking at our animals, we start out by owning 10 cows at our starting farm. And then, as I mentioned, we have cows, sheep, and pigs at the other farms as well. We do have contracts available, and you can make some pretty good bank on these large contracts. Of course, if you have players in multiplayer, then you're likely not going to have contracts available because we only have 4 fields. With respect to productions, we're going to circle back to farm production and farm supply. Each of the 4 farms on this map have their own farm production and farm supply. So in essence, there are 8 farm production, farm supply sets, or 4 sets of each of these at the various farms. As far as scattered around the map, we have a bakery. We also have a biogas plant. We have a carpentry, dairy. We have a grape processor, an oil mill. We have our paper factory, a sawmill, Second sawmill, we have our spinnery, a tailor shop, and a windmill. In total, we have 12 productions that we can own around the perimeter of the map. Now let's go back here to our farm production. And again, each map has its own farm production and its own farm supply. You see there is no shortage of things that your farm production and farm supply can produce. So we're going to run through these as quick as possible with respect to what are they and what are they going to make. So let's scroll down here to the bottom. So we have our bread, flour in, bread and pig food out. We have our buffalo milk in, bottled buffalo milk out. Buffalo mozzarella in, buffalo mozzarella out. Butter, well, we have regular milk and butter out. Cake, well, we have various inputs, flour, sugar, milk, eggs, butter, and strawberries. We're going to get cake and pig food out. Canned peas, peas in, canned peas and pig food out. Canola oil, canola oil is going to be the output, as well as some pig food. Carrot soup, well, carrots in, carrot soup out. Long grain cereal, we've got honey and long grain rice in, cereal and pig food out. Wheat cereal, honey, raisins, wheat, cereal and pig food out. Cheese, milk in, cheese and pig food out. Chocolate, milk and sugar in, chocolate and pig food out. Clothing, fabric and clothes. Wool, wool and fabric. Then we have long grain rice flour, rice in, flour out. Flour wheat, wheat in, flour out, and pig food out. We have our bottled goat milk in, bottled goat milk out. Goat cheese, goat milk in, goat cheese out. Grape juice, grapes in, grape juice, and pig food out. Jarred green beans, we have green beans in, jarred green beans, and pig food out. Kimchi, we have cabbage, garlic, onion, and peppers. We have kimchi out. Cow milk and cow milk bottled. Noodle soup, flour in, noodle soup, and pig food out. Olive oil, well, we have olives in, olive oil, and pig food. Parsnips, and parsnip soup is going to be the output there. We have a pig food distributor. We have so much stuff making pig food, it will take pig food in and pig food out, so you can basically tell it to auto distribute to the other productions. Although we really don't have too many productions, if any, that are requiring pig food in. Potato chips, we have potatoes and canola oil. Potato chips, potato soup, potatoes and potato soup. Preserved beetroot, beetroot in, beetroot out, as well as pig food. Carrots in, preserved carrots and pig food out. Preserved parsnips, parsnips in, preserved parsnips out, as well as pig food. Raisins, grapes in, raisins and pig food out. Sugar beet, no, red beet, red beets in, beet soup out. Rice boxes, long grain rice in, rice boxes, and pig food out. Rice oil, long grain rice in, rice oil, and pig food out. Rice rolls, long grain rice in, rice rolls, and pig food out. Spinach bag, spinach in, spinach bag, and pig food out. Sugar beet cut in, sugar, and pig food out. Sunflowers in, sunflower oil, and pig food out. And then lastly, triple soup, carrots, parsnips, red beets, and triple soup out. A whole lot of these productions include pig food out, as you have heard. With respect to our farm supply, we've got a little smaller of a list here, but still a lot of these things are also going to produce pig food. Well, we can make seed from barley. We can also make silage from chaff. We can make pig food from corn, barley, canola, and sugar beet. We can also make seed from corn. We can make liquid fertilizer from digestate. We can make solid fertilizer from digestate and lime. We can make hay by taking our grass in and drying it. We can make silage with grass, and we can make silage with hay as well. Lime is going to be stones and water to make lime. Lime mineral feed is going to be lime and soybeans to make mineral feed. Pig food distributor, pig food in, pig food out. We can make pig food from potatoes, sorghum, barley, and soybeans for pig food. Silage digestate, grass and water in, silage and digestate out. We can make digestate and silage from also chaff and water. We can make pig food from sorghum, wheat, canola, and potatoes. We can make ourselves some mineral food from stones and soybeans. Okay, all right. We can make silage from straw. Then we have 3 ways of making TMR. We can use hay, silage, straw, or we can do hay and silage, or we can do hay, silage, straw, and mineral feed. Whatever floats your boat. TMR is TMR after all. Then we have the ability to also make seeds with our wheat. So there you go. That is our farm supply. Again, each farm has its own production and supply. And if that's not enough, well, you can put down your own more. With respect to our prices, this is where things take a little of an interesting turn. All of these productions make pig food. And I thought, well, we don't have pigs at the start. Okay, we must be able to make some serious bank by selling pig food, right? No, not so much. So I was looking through here. Obviously, we don't have pig food in our fruit types. So I was looking through miscellaneous, and I was coming down here to the pigs, right? And when I got down here to pigs, I was like, no, R. There's no pig food listed. So if we can sell pig food, I don't know where we can sell it at because it's not listed here. Maybe you can come over here and just set this to selling, and maybe he'll just auto sell at some unknown price. I don't know, but it's interesting that we don't have pig food listed here. We have so many things making pig food that's why I think the starting farm should be the one with pigs, because we've got lots of ways of making pig food and apparently no real way of getting rid of it other than maybe plopping down the sell everything mod and basically then transporting your pig food to make some serious bank. With respect to our starting fleet, well, we start out in all modes by having the Amazon ZA-TS 3200 fertilize spreader. We have the Abbott pallet fork. We also have the Bennar Omega 006,000 FL seeder. We have the Case Puma 260 CVX drive tractor. We have the Demco HD HT32 header trailer. I guess that's what that is. We've got the Flegel ASW 271 trailer, the Hauer XB 190 front loader arms, international pickup truck. We got the John Deere 7R. We have the John Deere HD 50F grain header for the John Deere S7 800 harvester. We got the Krone Ventro tedder. We have the GMD 3123F front mower and the GMD 8733FF butterfly motor for the rear. We have the Perlander 7500 cultivator, the PWO 24 flatbed trailer. We got the Lone King Distinction triple hopper semi trailer, and we have the Mack Superliner 6x4 semi. We have the McCormick 8X 631 tractor, the Pottinger Jumbo 8450DB forage wagon, and the Pottinger Top 1403C windrower. And that is our starting fleet. We own it all. It's all in perfectly good condition as well, and none of it is leased. We do not have any hand tools at the start, and this map does have 25 collectibles, and those collectibles are the collectibles that you can find on Riverbend Springs. And to that end, well, I'm going to give you your first bead on your collectibles, and that is going to be right here at the starting farm. We got a little bit of a lamp. And with that, let's go ahead and kind of take a tour of this starting farm location. Everything on the starting farms can be sold if you do own the farmland. So here we have a barn. It's going to have most of our starting machinery in here. And lots of room to store additional things. We have our farmhouse. And once we go inside our farmhouse, well, we're going to be able to kind of explore all kind of, look at that, triple monitor set up there, double monitors, heck yeah. Donuts, pastries, I want to live here. We have our wardrobe trigger and our sleep trigger. in here. And there you go. Got some of our farm machinery here in this shed. And we've already seen we have more farm machinery over here. Then we have our farm production and our farm supply buildings. So this is going to be a fill point for bulk material. Here we have our dump point to supply material into this production. And we have our pallet spawn point for our farm production. Then right beside it, we have our farm supply. So we have our dump point for our forage style inputs like our hay, straw, grass, and chaff and things. Then we have our fill point for our bulk output. We have our interactive icon for our farm supply. And then we're going to have our fill point for, no, this is not tied to our farm supply. This is just a bulk buy point. And let me go find a tractor and a trailer so we can see what we can buy from here. So from this farm supply purchase point, we're going to be able to buy wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beet, red beet, carrots, parsnips, long grain rice, green beans, peas, spinach, sugarcane, wood chips, sugar beet cut, silage, grass, hay, straw, manure, stones, mineral feed, chaff, solid fertilizer, grapes, road salt, seed, lime, snow, olives, pig food, TMR, and back to wheat. So pretty much any bulk input is going to be buyable at this farm buy point. We've got more of our equipment here in this shed. Then we have our custom cow barn. So this cow barn has been customized to have more cows in it. In fact, you can see we can have a total of 522 cows in this particular barn. So we have our slurry point there. Inside, we're going to have our feed and straw trigger, as we have grown to know with this shed. And then on this side, we're going to have our milk, and we're also going to have our animal buy point. So you see 522, and we have 10 cows at the start. And like I mentioned, we can sell everything here on this particular farm. The last thing I want to point out is we have our farm silo, which is located right there. And I believe this is set up to hold 10 million liters worth of product. So here we have our dump point and our fill point, and that is our starting farm. Now, before we jump over to the other farms, I want to take a look here in build mode, because we do have some custom buildings that are included with this map. Down here we have 4,000 open shed, and then we have a large shed that is included with the map. Come here to our silos. We do have our custom silo, again set up for 10 million liters worth of product. Under silo extensions, nothing. Under constructibles, nothing. But under containers, we have that buying station that we just took a look at. And then we also have a gas pump. Under farmhouses, we have 4 different farmhouses to choose from that are also included with this map. If we come over here to our factories and scroll down, we will have the ability to place more farm productions and farm supply. We also have a modified BGA that is also available here for placement. Under greenhouses, we do have 2 areas that have large open greenhouses. So I guess we should add that to our production list, because those aren't going to pop up until we buy those. We'll go ahead and put one of these down here. That way we'll just see what is going to be able to be produced at those locations. And then when we get around to flying around the map, we'll point those out to you. Other than that, pretty much everything else is going to be the same under that tab. Under our animals, we do have a modified cow barn, $200,000 for 500 cows. That is, of course, starting out. And then when you put down your fence, well, you might increase that capacity even more. We also then have a modified pig area for 1,000 pigs at $164,000. We have a modified sheep area, $97,000 for 680 sheep. And then we have then our standard chickens and then other animals. With respect to our ground textures, fairly standard ground textures are going to be available on this map, as well as fairly standard trees and shrubbery. Let's head back over here to take a closer look at this particular large greenhouse or large garden area. We placed it here behind this building. And we're going to have multiple triggers. We have our fill point for water. We have our dump point to supply product in. We have our pallet point for product out. Then we have our interactive icon. And here we're going to be able to grow carrots, water in, carrots out. Water, seed, and solid fertilizer, carrots out. Chili peppers. So you can see we have a trend here. We have easy product that simply requires water for carrots, peppers, garlic, grapes, green beans, lettuce, Napa cabbage, olives, parsnips, peas, potatoes, red beets, spinach, spring onions, strawberries, sunflowers, and tomatoes. Or we could advance our production and our output by requiring water, seed, and fertilizer, and we are going to be getting 16 water, 16 tomatoes. With respect to our advanced tomatoes or any other production, 44 water in, 88 tomatoes out, 1 unit of seed, 1 unit of fertilizer. So just a little seed, a little fertilizer, you get a lot more output. So just put a little bit of effort in, and we're basically doubling our output across all of these productions, if not more. Now I've made my way over here to Farmland ID 7, which is the second farm we're going to take a look at. It's on the western side of the map. So this is where we started out here on the southeast. Now we're kind of over here in the southwest corner by field 3. Ideally, you would probably tie field 3 to this particular farm if you were going to do that. So we have our farmhouse. And again, we can go inside of these really awesome and detailed farmhouses. And we have our sleep and wardrobe triggers inside. We're going to have some sheds at this particular farm. So this is going to be our farm supply production. If I'm remembering correctly. Indeed it is. We have another cow barn. This one is going to be able to hold 522 cows as well. Here we have our farm buy point for buying products in. Some more sheds. And then we have our farm production located right here. So you see field 3. You can see field 1 way off in the distance. Field 4 directly ahead of us. And we're going to make our way straight north to the third farm we're going to take a look at, which is going to be the sheep farm. So all the way in the back, we do have our farmhouse. Once again, we're going to be able to go into that farmhouse, and you can see right here, the bedroom here on the front of the left side of the house is going to be where your triggers are going to be located. Got more open sheds. We have our red barn. We have our silo. I didn't recall seeing a silo at the second farm. We have our farm supply production. We've got our sheep area. We do have some sheep at the start. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. Then we have our farm production building located over here on this side. So you can see our sheep are already starting to produce some wool. We have 20 sheep out of 721 sheep being able to be stored here. Then, of course, we have our food trough and our sheep delivery point located right there. If we continue to make our way across the northern side of the map, we're going to eventually find ourselves over at the fourth farm that is on this map, and that is going to be the pig farm. Now, there's plenty of other areas on this map where you could clear out some trees and put your own farm down if you wanted to either expand this operation or add multiple farms to this operation. But this is going to be a pig farm. We have our farm production here on the left. Some nice implement storage. We have our farmhouse. And we can see again, we have the front left bedroom. It's going to be the one with our sleep and wardrobe triggers. We have our farm supply production. Then we have our big red barn. We have our farm silo. And this farm does not appear to have the farm supply silo. We have our pigs. So we have our food point. We have our pig drop-off point. We're going to hold 1,050 pigs here, of which we start out with 20. And that is basically all 4 farms that are available on this map. Now, this is a standard size map. And as we make our way back here to our starting farm, I will say that on my low-end system, which is using AMD 780M integrated graphics at 40 watt TDP total board power, that we were seeing anywhere frame rates from 30s to 40s. Let me stand correct. Just took a look at my notes. 40s to 50s. What does that mean? Well, with my custom recommended medium settings and with FSR frame gen enabled, to your eye, you are perceiving 80 to 100 frames per second. So this map played very, very smoothly on that integrated graphics system, which means that you should get outstanding performance on pretty much any system with a dedicated graphics card for FarmSim 25. As we make our way across the southern edge of this map, we're going to come across a couple productions and sell points. We've got a few productions and sell points located here. We've got the cafe sell point. We have our bakery production. And David's just hanging out here at the grocery store, which is also going to be a sell point around the back. Further down the street, we're going to make our way to production further down. I thought there behind number 10 was an icon indicator. But here we have our Taylor production. And then we also have our spinnery located right here. And we have our small triangular shaped dairy building right beyond that. We have a sell point here at the riverboat. And this is going to be the campground that we can buy, which is going to provide us some idle income. And we've got a sell point here at this campground as well. We have our vehicle dealer here in the southwest corner as well. And let's go ahead and pick up a vehicle. And we'll see where our vehicles spawn when we buy those in. Very large area for our vehicles to spawn in at. Kind of right here at this grease stain. It's good to see because we're going to want to buy some pretty big machinery. And we have very easy access out of the dealership. And with respect to the roads, well, we've got a very wide berm here between the road and the field. So we should have zero issue whatsoever in driving around on this map with extremely large and wide machinery. We do have our dealer trigger located here right at the side. Continuing up the way, we have a farmer's market sell point. Then we have that second farm that we took a look at. Nice empty plot of land, again, for making a field, making another farm, other operations. We have a windmill production located right here. North of that, we have our animal dealer. And we have our animal dealer sell point for bales and straw and such along the side. We have our grape processor. We have our oil mill. And then we have one of the two large gardens that we can purchase here at Farmland ID 16. And let's just go ahead and see how much this is going to cost us. $49,000. We don't have enough money to buy it right now, but we already know kind of where those triggers are going to be here at the front because we did buy one earlier. Here we have a grain sell point, also located, kind of set up to simulate loading a barge. So we make our way across the north side. We have the sheep farm we took a look at previously. We have another grain sell point located right here. We have a paper mill. We have our sawmill. We have a biomass heating plant that's located right there. We have the fourth farm, the pig farm, which we just took a look at. Swinging around, we have another one of those large open gardens. Here we have the other sawmill. We have the biogas plant. And continuing down, that is pretty much going to be all that is pre-placed on this map, because now we've come full circle back around here to our starting farm. So guys, that is 4 fields. Clearly this map has been named after its biggest asset, and that is going to be the 4 fields in the center of the map. Also like how we have 4 farms, and you could in essence have 4 different players on this map, each on their own farm, each dedicated to a single field, and there's no reason why you have to have this field as a single thing. You could easily carve this up into multiple different chunks if you wanted to and grow multiple crops at a time. But basically, you now have, in essence, a 66 hectare, that's the field area on this map, 66 hectares worth of farmland available for you to carve up however you want. So even if you don't want to play on a singular giant field, you could play on 6 fields of 10 hectares each, for example, if that's how you should decide to carve things up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to this particular map. Is it something that you have been waiting for? Is it something you are eager to take on the challenge, so to speak, and see how that works out? If you've got a couple other friends, are you going to look to maybe put this on a dedicated server or run a local multiplayer session? Until next time, happy farming.